Hey guys, and welcome to the first episode of the Chronicles lore. This is going to be a little side series where I just give out little pieces of lore for you guys, the players, and any viewers that watch this. Uh, as you can see, I drew a nice little banner thumbnail that I plan on using for videos. Um, it's kind of meh. I'm not an artist. I'm a dungeon master. But today's first episode will actually cover the Kleppo Chronicles themselves. So, first question is, what are the Kleppo Chronicles? And they are a set of history books written by the halfling Shleppo and his companion, but he writes history with a large focus on the deities impacting the world, big life-changing events, but he also tells smaller stories like specific adventurers that grew to become the big world-changing events. Sometimes these adventurers die. It's history, it happens. Um, but the way he writes it is extremely stylistic. It's not a dry history book, but it's the stories of people's lives. He releases a new chronicle every 50 years, covering the events and people from the previous 50 years. And these chronicles are written in every single language. The thing about these chronicles is historians don't necessarily agree with the chronicles, thinking that it's more of a romanticized version of history than the truth, and that nothing should be taken as a fact, but should be more interpreted to see maybe possibly what the history was. They don't even think Shleppo's a real person so much as just a title that gets passed down from one halfling to another to another. And anything he writes specifically relating to the gods, almost every single historian just throws it out the window because no mortal can understand how the gods work, why the gods work. And this history spans to the beginning of time. Why would anybody know what happened at the beginning of time? Only the first gods were around then. So, Shleppo's writings aren't necessarily taken as history, but an interpretation of history. And while people disagree with Shleppo being any one person, a lot of people have met the various Shleppos throughout time, and it's always fairly consistent. A tall halfling man, pretty well dressed. He always looks a sickly green, as though he's just constantly got some terrible illness afflicting him. He's always traveling around with his wagon full of various antiques, magical goods, just a bunch of random crap. And it seems like it's a business that's passed on from father to son, since it's passed on from one Shleppo to the next, and they all look pretty much the same. And the way that he gathers his history is he just invites travelers into his wagon for a cup of tea, cup of coffee, and he just talks to them and learns their stories, what they want to do with life, what they're going to do after, they leave his wagon, what they just got done doing, what are their families like, he just learns about these travelers, hears their stories, And historians think that's how he writes his chronicles, is he's taking the stories of those people he meets and writing them down into his books. Um, is that the case? Shleppo would say otherwise. Shleppo says he's seen everything that he's writing about, or he's heard it directly from a witness, and that everything he writes is the truth. But really, does the truth even matter? Alright, that's really it. That's just my little tidbit on what the Kleppo Chronicles actually are. I'll probably do my next video on Kleppo himself. So, thanks for watching.